Hey everybody, welcome back. HSC Podcast 106. Here we are, Big Box Steve on the mic, got the big smooth and fresh Wes. Sporting the Dolphins memorabilia, but now
Dude.
we can't see the Dolphins sign though. Like
Oh no. I didn't.
you've moved, you gotta move it. There you go.
There we go.
The fins. Now we got the fins. We'll take the fins. That's close enough. I don't know what this spiral notebook you got here, but it looks like you've been doing some research.
Yeah. There's many notes here. This is the black book.
We'll
Well,
call him Wes Kuiper.
yeah, I actually would probably take either of your guys' picks over Mel Kiper's.
I haven't seen his latest mock.
I don't think anyone now because I don't pay for the paywall. I don't really care what ESPN says.
Right. Well, and the worst part is when you see guys like Nick Wright.
Oh God.
You guys know how much I like Nick
Your
Wright.
buddy. Your best buddy.
I it's hard for me to listen to him talk about any sport anywhere. I really think that how can this guy be on a sports analysis show or any type of sports talk show when you don't know anything?
Well, I mean, one of my favorites, I'm going basketball here, but Kendrick Perkins.
Right.
That
At
dude
least
knows.
he played though.
Yeah, but he still knows nothing. And then he's talking about how he's better than Charles Barkley.
Right.
What?
I mean there so the thing about Nick Wright though, does that guy look like he ever played a sport in his life?
No.
It looks like he played like no, he does
No,
not.
there's you
But
couldn't
there's
like
not a
pick
sport I can think of.
you
I think
couldn't like pick a sport like polo.
uh,
So
I'm going to Google it, see if Nick Wright's played any
I,
sports.
I'm gonna I'm just gonna say I'll take your guys' picks
yeah.
over Mel Kiper's picks. So that's where we're at right now. But this episode, for everybody's listening, we'll talk a little NBA playoffs first because that's what's happening right now. But we're gonna get heavily into or NFL draft because 2 days for arguably one of the best drafts I think that we've seen in a long time.
It's the most anticipated draft.
Hmm.
You have the Bears that are drafting in the top 10 twice for the first time since 1979. First time that they've had
Right.
two top 10 picks. So it's a big draft.
And we'll
Well, and
still
all
probably screw both of them up.
and all hopes, because the Bears are only team in the NFL that's never had a 4,000 yard passer.
Right. Or
That's
And
right.
they're the oldest team in the NFL.
also a 40 touchdown guy, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So you don't have a 4,000 yard passer or a 40 touchdown guy. That's
Defense.
kind of insane.
Monsters of the midway, man. They don't need offense.
Yeah, but you won one Super Bowl ever, right? And that was what we're like
Nice.
now we're 15, 20, we're 40 years ago. That's pretty bad.
Well, I mean, at least they won one. Well,
It's rough out there being a Bears fan, so I'm gonna just be happy that we got two top 10 picks, done a lot of good things. But first, let's get into a little bit NBA because we don't talk a lot of NBA during the season. But playoffs, I mean, you guys are like me. We watch a lot of playoff games, right?
Yeah.
yeah.
The
I
ones that
watched
intrigue me, I don't think I'm going to catch any of the Magic or the Bucks Pacers. I don't think, yeah.
the Pacers just beat the Bucks. They beat them
Yeah,
by
and well,
17.
Bucks are hurting. Obviously you don't
Yeah,
have
without Giannis.
Campo, right? So if you don't have Giannis, dude, that's rough.
But I mean,
Um,
the Suns got blown out twice now. Aren't they supposed to be one of the best teams? What is going on?
Dude, the Suns look bad. They
it,
were they were up on them, in the second quarter, and it looked like they were gonna maybe make, and they just didn't do anything in the second half. I couldn't believe it.
well, when you look at like what so far, like obviously there's still more to play, but when you look at like what Booker and Beal have done, they just haven't shown up. Like Durant, who is admittedly a great player, he's not going to carry your team as he's aging.
Right. Well, that's why they got Beal.
Right. You brought in a Beal. You have Booker, who should be scoring 30 points a game. But he's having a rough go at it so far. Let's
No,
talk a little bit,
Beal's
though,
not playing.
about the Denver Lakers game. That's probably one of the worst losses that I've seen. And I'll tell you, I turned the game on and they were down 20. And I'm like, how are the Lakers beating Denver by 20 right now? And then you watch this game play out, and Jokic has a huge game, 20 rebounds, 20, 30 points almost,
But
triple
he's not
double.
any good.
No, he's no good. He's not the MVP. But for LeBron to miss the three and then for Murray to hit like one of the hardest threes I've probably seen in a long time, that's crazy. Did you see the what
Anthony Davis.
Anthony Davis did in his interview?
He was mad.
He
I
just was
So
probably
mad.
being a
he,
crybaby.
They're like
did he slam the table?
they said, well, what happened at the end? He's like, Jamal Murray hit an amazing three. He slams the table, gets up, and then walks out.
Yeah, that was funny. I was like, there we go.
Well, like Magic Johnson's been on like the X, like he'll tweet stuff all through all the games, and he's like, "Oh, great, blah blah blah." Today it was like, "Sorry, I didn't tweet about the Lakers Nuggets game. I was so upset. I went to bed
Right.
and I couldn't. I had to collect my thoughts."
Yeah, yeah.
Derek and Magic are real similar when it comes to losing.
Yeah.
Yeah. TVs disappear. Smoke.
I mean, that was rough though. I mean, it was also crazy just to watch the Lakers kind of fall apart, which again, we go back to the GOAT debate. I mean, people talk about it all the time, right? Like, but really, would Jordan ever have let that happen?
And I think that's the thing. Like with LeBron, it's the dude is a physical specimen, right?
Probably the most, probably maybe outside of Shaq, right?
Right. But
I would
that
say
thing is,
Shaq and him are probably the most physical specimens you've ever seen in basketball.
then why don't you drive to the basket? Because you're, first off, you're LeBron James. You are still the number one star in the sport. You're going to get a foul called if you get hit.
Right. Or if you don't
And
get
you,
hit, you're gonna get a
and,
foul
and
call.
you what? Are a 30, like, I mean, you're not 3-point shooting is not your specialty. And I think that's what this day and age has come. Like Jordan would have gone, oh, I'm going to the hoop.
Right.
And then he would have stopped, done like a crossover and hit a jumper in someone's face. But still, he would have got a closer shot.
Yeah, I agree 100%. I also think that there's a
Oh,
more of like a will to win. Like Jordan's willing games, right? Like he's not gonna lose. And I just don't know that LeBron has that. Is he probably the most physical specimen like we're talking about? Sure, and his stats don't lie.
yeah. He was just built differently. I mean, I mean, I love when they talk about Bronny. It's like this is ridiculous conversation. he was a man in a junior in a high school.
Right.
And he was a man. Like it's just stupid. And now I'm impressed. Just his, I like the block he had. It was a top 10 play. I was like,
Yeah.
dude, he's such a great player, but it's the mentality that I think trips him up. He'll never get over it. He'll never be Jordan. He'll never have
Yeah.
that killer. He won't even be Kobe. Kobe had a killer instinct, you know?
Well,
And
I
it's
think
just like,
that's why a lot of people put Kobe in that top five, right? Or sometimes number two. You'll hear Kobe
yeah.
called number two a lot because of that Mamba mentality. I saw an interesting thing. I wanted to get your guys' thoughts on this because since we're talking basketball, they're talking about the top 10 like all-time players. And I think we generally have the same thoughts of what they were putting in there. You like Jordan and Magic and Bird and Bill Russell and Wilt Chamberlain. And as they went down the list, then Steph Curry was not in the top 10, right? And they're like, how does Steph Curry break into that top 10? Because those are iconic players. But Curry, you look at it, he's done a lot in his career. When you talk about championships, you talk about his shooting. Like, can Steph Curry break into that top 10? Like,
Well, I think he's already fringe because I think a lot of people are, it's once you get different generations, they start forgetting people. Like like the like I just mentioned earlier. Now, people are wrecking on Barkley, right? Like, oh, Barkley wasn't that a good player. The dude was like 6'6" and was a power forward.
right.
Um, but that's where I get like I think a lot of people, because he played longer and he was out of shape at the end, disregard Shaq. You know what I mean? Like he doesn't get as much as he should be top 10, but towards the end of his career, because he went to like the Celtics and the Suns and the Cavs.
Right. But
And
still,
then,
most people have Shaq in their top 10, though, right?
well, some people, because it's tough because, a lot of it is he got out of shape. He won three with Kobe and then one with Dwayne Wade. But that was
Yeah.
Wade's team. That wasn't Shaq's team.
Oh, Wade, when they won that championship, Wade had one of the best years that almost anybody's ever had.
Right.
And he was what, 24?
Hmm. That's the thing. Steph is like, because if you look, okay, like you said, you got Jordan, LeBron, Magic, Kareem, Wilt, Bill Russell,
Bird,
Bird, Tim Duncan, Kobe
Tim
Bryant,
Duncan, Kobe Bryant,
and Shaq.
Shaq. I've heard guys like Elijah Wan,
Yeah. Well, he schooled Shaq.
right? But so, yeah, you said it earlier, like Curry's on the cusp regardless, right? It's not like
Yeah.
he's,
The
50,
problem was he had such great teams, but they've kind of like the dynasty's over. So he has to reinvent himself. They lost the playing game like bad.
right? But
and
let's talk about Klay Thompson.
Klay Thompson.
Mhm.
He might go well with like the Celtics as like someone coming off the bench, like can give you maybe some
Well, I heard he might go to the Mavericks.
that wouldn't be a bad idea either. They would need that extra guy.
Uh,
So
Speaking of the Mavericks, watching them play, can you win a championship with that two-man game that they have?
they're no, I don't think they're doing well right now, but I just think they need another piece. They
They
need a
do.
third. You can have five or six role players that contribute. But look at the Bucks. They had their Giannis, and then there was Middleton, but Middleton wasn't a two. Lillard's a two. 1-2, 1A.
Yeah,
And
like
so,
a legitimate 1-2 punch, right?
but you kind of want to have that third guy. You can have role players. You can get close to winning a title. Like Phoenix almost beating Milwaukee, but they didn't have that third guy. They had Booker,
Well, and I mean, the Mavericks lost the first game to the Clippers without Kawhi.
Right.
So I don't even know if they'll get by the Clippers.
Honestly, though, the Clippers are good. Like the Clippers have a solid team.
the Clippers.
Well,
Dallas is up by 7 with 6 minutes left in the third.
yeah. Well, because James Harden flipped the script and actually had a good
A
playoff
good
game.
game, right?
Of course, today he's 1 of 7 from 3. So normal James Harden.
But I'm just saying if Harden plays decent and if they have Kawhi and then Russell playing pretty well off the bench, like that's tough. That's not easy. Um, I mean, I like the Clippers. I think they're a solid team. Denver for me seems like the team to beat still. Although, have you watched the Oklahoma City much?
I watched a little bit of the game. I watched the ending when Shea Gillis hit that crazy shot. That was a great shot. He is good. I don't
Does
think
he
he's
get
MVP.
MVP this year?
Well,
Jokic.
You think it
Jokic,
goes to
you have to
Jokic
give it
again?
to him. Yeah, you kind of have to. I think if
Okay, so here's my argument for this though. Let's just for a second. Oklahoma City is the youngest team to ever win a 1 seed. And he's averaged what 30 points a game, carried this team throughout, and got them to a 1 seed.
Well, did he really carry him though?
30 points a game, dude. Like,
I
I mean,
know, but
that's
it's not like you have a bunch of Steve Kerr's or anything on your team. He's got like Chet Holmgren, who played 82 games this year, which is
like,
crazy to think.
but look at the other players, dude. There's not, I get it. Chet Holmgren, he had a great, what they call a rookie season, even though he really was just injured. But he had a pretty good season, second in blocks, played 82 games, but they don't have a lot of other great players.
Right.
I would say, look, you're gonna give it to Jokic, like he's gonna win it another 3 or 4 times probably. Why not give it to Shea this year?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think anybody would be too upset. I mean, but we all know the Jokic is. I mean, he's
Jokic should have won
great.
last year, but they gave it to Embiid. You can't every year be like, well, this guy really had a good year too, so we need to give it to him.
Yeah,
Jokic is good every year, so he can't.
they already did it with Embiid last year, and that was debatable. So this
Right.
year, yeah, I would say that Jokic should win it this year. I mean, Shea's gonna have many years to prove that he's one of the best players in the NBA. I don't think he's not.
Well, dude's only 25, right?
He is, but is he? I look at I look at Anthony Edwards and what
Right.
he did in Game 1. That was ridiculous. I
Although
mean, I
he's
guess
not
even
having a
Jordan
great
was like, Jordan doesn't say anything, and Jordan was like, "Damn."
he's
Like
not
he
having a
just
great
pulled.
game too, though.
No, no, he's like I said, he's got the wow
Minnesota,
factor.
Minnesota though I mean not has to be, but I think it's one of the most well-rounded teams in the West when you look at them top to bottom.
Yeah, I like their team. I
Oh
think they
yeah,
can
Defense
they can
wins
go deep.
championships.
but also you've got guys like, Jaden McDaniels, right, who can pop
Mm-hmm.
off for 20, 30 a game.
Yeah,
And then
yeah.
Anthony Edwards, he's already shown he can go off for 50 if he needs. So
You gotta.
Minnesota is tough right now. I mean, I don't want to play Minnesota.
Well, because the Thunder are all young, right?
Right. super young.
Well, the Timberwolves mix, they got Gobert and Conley
Right.
with their young guys.
Right. So they got a little bit of veteran leadership.
Right.
And I don't care what anybody says about Gobert. He's a great defender.
Mm-hmm.
And
He
yes,
is.
we're in the NBA that has gone away from the true center, but he is kind of the last true center.
But think about it. You got Gobert, and then you got Carl Anthony Towns when
Yeah.
they're playing together. That's not fair
Well, he's
because then you
playing
got the
power
defense and the
forward, dude.
rebound, and then you have Towns just is an off. He's got
Right.
so many tools.
Well, and Towns can shoot outside.
Yeah, I like their team.
So, what are you guys taking out of the West? So, who are we taking? Let's do our picks. What are we taking out of the West?
Oh, jeez.
Nuggets.
God, it's so
Yeah,
hard not to take the Nuggets.
yeah. I look at we can talk about Jokic all we want, but look what Murray did. That
Right.
shot was insane.
It's
It
so
was such
clutch,
a great shot.
dude.
Yeah, it was
So
clutch.
clutch.
And Murray is clutch, and Murray doesn't get the credit. Like he's clutch. They would have won that title last year if it wasn't for him being clutch. And so I think those are the factors. And you got Porter,
Well,
and
yeah, because when
all the
MPJ plays well and Gordon
yeah,
play like that's if they step their game up, it's
yeah,
almost impossible to beat them.
it's a wrap. If
Right.
if if Porter if he steps up, it's a wrap, and they're
Yeah.
gonna, you know. So I'm taking Denver.
Yeah, I'm gonna go out a limb and I'm gonna take Minnesota.
I want to take Minnesota. I so want to go and take
The
Minnesota.
reason is because exactly what Derek said earlier, because I think on the same line that they have enough veterans and enough young talent that I think they can get there.
Yeah.
But it's so hard to beat Denver. That's gonna be rough.
Gobert on Jokic, and then you
Yeah.
just, you know, yeah.
Well, we'll switch over to the East, and Derek, tell us how good the Knicks are.
Well, let's just say that I was watching the Knicks game and I got pissed. Turned it off for a second, but and then I'm like,
Turned it
okay.
off, right?
Yeah, I turned it off, but then I'm like, okay, I gotta watch the end. And then I was like, oh man. And I just love Sixers. We got robbed. Blah blah blah. You know what though? I'm watching the game before that, and Embiid does an illegal like a screen and does this. Oh no, the Knicks get a foul called against him. Embiid shoots with Hartenstein right there in his face, but doesn't move. Oh, foul on the Knicks. So don't give me this, oh, you're not calling fouls. They called enough fouls on the Knicks. Well, let it play out in the final minute. It's not my fault that he threw the ball in stupidly to who is it? Who fell on the ground? Maxi.
That, but that whole like series of events was crazy.
Yeah.
When
And then
they
it's not
score and
it's
then
not the Knicks' fault you couldn't get an offensive or get a
Steven
defensive rebound either.
DiVincenzo misses the three, and then they get the rebound, they scrap around, and then he hits the three. That's crazy.
Yeah. That's the thing is um and the Knicks are down, they don't have Randall at all.
Right.
And they didn't have OG for most of the season. Like once they traded for him, I think he played like 20 games. They Mitchell Robinson was hurt most of the season, and they still got the 2 seed.
Right. Well, and OG has to be more involved if they want to go deep
Right.
because
Well,
he's a great spot up 3-point shooter.
well, and then Steve and Vincenzo and Hart and OG didn't even and Brunson didn't have that great of games, and
Right.
they still
They still
ended
won.
up winning.
Yeah, I mean, I like the Knicks' chance. I think there's a lot of coaching and a lot of good team playing, right? They're playing well as a team. They're Wes, you said earlier, fundamentals. It's important,
They're scrappy.
They're scrappy. Yeah,
right?
that's good.
How does Milwaukee come out of this?
I think they lose. I don't think they make it out of the first
I
round.
mean, they lose the Pacers tonight, right?
Yeah. Dame can't do it all.
Yeah.
We've seen
That's
this
a
story with the Blazers. He has a great game, but he has no one around him to help him out.
that's a big hit though without Giannis, right? I
I know,
mean,
but look at the Blazers. He didn't have a Giannis, and that's what
yeah,
happened. Nothing against Dame. He's doing all he can, but like you said, Middleton is not Middleton's CJ McCollum, right?
right. I think it's obviously a whole different ball game for them with Giannis healthy. It's like the Pelicans, dude. Like it's a whole different game if Zion's
Yeah,
playing.
that's right. Yeah. Lakers would probably not be in the playoffs right now.
Yeah. But in the East, like there's other interesting things happening. Like Cleveland looks pretty tough. Like if you watch Donovan Mitchell,
Hmm. Yeah,
he's a playoff guy.
I don't think
he's been activated. I think there's a lot. I think he doesn't feel like he's part of the conversation right now. There's a lot of talk about other guys like Anthony Edwards and how explosive he is. Man, I saw some plays with him. I think he's like, you know what? Yeah, I can get off the ground myself.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah, wait
Well,
until
he's
they play the Celtics, though.
yeah,
well, okay, so I mean the Celtics obviously seem like the favorite in the East, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
Top to bottom, and we talked about this earlier. I said this in a previous podcast. I don't think Tatum gets the credit he deserves ever.
Right.
No.
I mean, he's got similar, like he has LeBron stats, but nobody talks about Tatum in the GOAT conversation.
Well, what's funny is was it was 2 years ago, right? When the Celtics made it to the final. Didn't they make it to the finals 2 years ago, was it?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think it was
Yeah.
2 years ago.
And he carried them.
Yeah,
But then now the narrative is, well, I don't know if Tatum's very good. He hasn't won a chip yet, and he has to prove it in the playoffs. He already proved it in the playoffs. Got him to the finals one year.
yeah.
No,
Well, and they have a much stronger team this year, like all balance, right? All
Mhm.
around.
they
Obviously, they had the best record in the league,
well, it's not just the best record. They have the fourth best record in Celtics history.
right?
Fourth. They won 64 games.
Okay.
So I mean, yeah, they're total favorite coming out of the East.
Yeah, I
Going to
mean,
the Knicks.
on the East for me, I mean, I talked about this before. Like I'm on the Boston train. I have a hard time thinking Boston doesn't come out of the East this year.
Yeah. I have three outcomes. One, Celtics easily make it. Two, the scrappy Knicks beat them out. Or three, the Knicks can't even get past the next round, and then the Celtics just go easily. So
Are
yeah.
there any
So
other teams in the East? Like let's remove the Celtics and the Knicks. That's 1 and 2 seeds, right? Of the last 6 seeds there, are there any teams that can beat those two?
well, the Bucks haven't been the same since they fired their coach, and then Giannis has been hurt. So I don't think the Bucks have a chance.
No.
Cleveland, I still want to see more. I mean, they play in the Magic, and let's be real. Five through eight are not really good in the
Yeah,
East.
they're pretty bad.
So, well, I want to see more out of them, and then we'll find out when they play the Celtics. There's really
So
only four teams in the East.
so best team outside of 1 and 2 on the East.
I'd say Cavs.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think I agree. Yeah, if I look top to bottom, the Cavs, I think they have the most talent because when Garland like steps up and you got Mitchell playing and Garland playing at the same time, that's a pretty brutal duo.
I would say Indiana, but Halliburton hasn't been playing that well for a
Right.
bit. If Halliburton was playing like he was playing in the playing games, I mean the excuse me, the in-season tournament, I would say Indiana had a chance. I
Well,
think
and
he
they
should.
do have Siakam now too.
Well, they have a chance because you don't have Giannis playing.
Don't have
Right.
John.
So, I mean, they could definitely move forward. Okay, so championship. What's your championship games? So who's playing in the NBA championship?
Celtics, Nuggets.
Celtics Nuggets.
Yeah, same. I got the same.
I'm going Minnesota Celtics. Although it's tough to go against the Nuggets. I mean I'm just hoping actually that Minnesota comes together and somehow beats the Nuggets. So we'll see what happens. I was pleasantly surprised. I don't know about you guys, but I haven't watched a lot of NBA this year at all. But I watched a lot of the playoff games. It's not typical basketball like we all love, that we used to love, but it's been some good games. There's been some pretty
Yeah,
fun games to watch.
yeah. You know, I got my. I don't like watching the regular season that much, but I always have my players. I have Luca. You know, Ant Man. Getting like I love Anthony Edwards. I,
Oh,
I
dude.
love I love watching the
Right.
I just love watching Denver's play. Just play the game better and right, like the way it's supposed to be played. And I enjoyed watching the Knicks. The Knicks have been so boring for years. And every year they're like, oh yeah, because you have Stephen A. Smith every year. He's like, oh look, and I'm like, dude, you guys aren't. They're fun to watch. You know, Hart is a baller. And I always forget how how what kind of a shooter he is, and he's clutch.
Yeah. Well, he's the Swiss Army knife. He can do it
Yeah.
all. Well, and then, yeah, I think that's the thing is what the 76ers are doing with Hart is they're daring him to shoot. Game one, he came up big. Game two, he didn't play that well for him shooting. But
So talk about the 76ers for a second. Like I don't think they'll get past the Knicks, but um, you know, watching Maxi play, like he's pretty solid.
yeah.
It's kind of I don't know, and obviously we're not professional coaches, but you got Embiid shooting, not that great a percentage, and you got Maxi shooting like 60, 70%. Why are you not giving him the ball more?
Yeah, they were giving it to Embiid on every possession,
Like
which
dude was like, I don't know. I mean, I was watching it, I felt like he was like 10 for 30. It just looked really bad
well, you were
when
close. He was 12 for 29.
yeah, I mean, it just looked
But
it was really rough to watch. And I know
Maxey was
Maxi,
12 for 22, though.
which is not terrible, but he was also at one point like, 6 for like 10, and he was shooting a real high percentage. And so that was frustrating for me to watch. Like you're feeding Embiid too much. You've got some other decent players. So for me, that was a coaching thing. Mix it up a little bit more. Don't just like rely on Embiid that much. Because I think 76ers have a lot of talent.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's just
I just
Embiid
don't know
got
if they
hurt.
use it as well.
And the thing is this always happens with Embiid. I know he's hurt. I know he's out there playing like 50%, but the play he got hurt on was completely unnecessary for him to do. He is not he's not a high flyer. You don't throw the ball off the backboard and then okay, that's a great play if you're Ant-Man.
Yeah.
But come on, you're 7 foot. You always hurt yourself because you do too much. You got it. You have to be responsible with how you throw your body around. And it was not a smart play. And you're in the playoffs. Like you guys actually have a chance if you're healthy. You
Yeah.
finally get healthy. You've been hurt for a couple months. You get the meniscus surgery, and then it's like you do that. I was just scratching my head. I'm like, and another thing I want to talk about Boston. What did you see the first game where Tatum almost fell on his head?
Yeah.
What is he doing in the game with 1 minute left in the fourth quarter? They're up by 15 points.
Yeah. No,
And back in the day, you didn't do that in the 80s because Bill Lambert, if he was like if you were rolling, the Pistons were up 15 and you had your starters in, Bill Lambert, it would not be a mistake for him to take a elbow. You just
right,
put it in your
right.
back, put it in your face. So that was idiotic. I could not believe that. And he could have got hurt big time.
You see that a lot though, you know.
It happened a couple times in the first game.
Right. But
And
you
it's
see it in other sports as well. You know, you see it in NFL. You're like, why do you still have your starting quarterback in?
yeah.
Right.
But yeah, I think you're right. You know, it's a little bit reckless, you know, as a coach. I don't care if these guys say, "Hey, I want to be in the game." Like, you got to be smarter than that as a
Yeah,
coach.
it's like they get what they want all the time anyways. I'd be
Right.
like, you know what? You're gonna say.
Yeah.
Sorry. You need to be
Yeah.
in
Take them out.
the
Take them
rest
out
of
of
the
the game.
playoffs. You can't just sit there and
Yeah, I agree. So regardless, I think so far of what I've watched, and I've watched a lot of the playoff games, it's been a pretty interesting playoffs up to this point.
yeah,
Yep.
it's only basically the first round. So
Right.
my only thing is the first round playing 7 games, it's a lot of games because you got 3 more rounds of 7 games.
Yeah.
What I don't like, and you notice this the last couple of years, is these guys, they love to run around all year and put up 130, 40 points. But the problem is they get tired. They get to the conference finals and the finals and they look gassed. A lot of times they do. And
Yeah.
it's not good for the finals. The finals ratings have gone down like 50% since Michael Jordan. 50%. That's insane. That's people are just like, we're not really that interested because it's like, it's like they're gassed a
Well,
lot of the time.
what do you guys think of the play-in part of the playoffs?
Well, it's just to make more money. I mean, seriously, just like the best of seven. It used to be best of five, and that was fine.
Right. In the first
We had
round,
more
best
upsets
best
then.
five.
And then now it's like it goes into like the middle of June. Come on.
I
Yeah, it's
don't
it, it's almost like July. Like they'd be best if they just took the first round games. I know you can't do 3 games. I would love to see them do 3 games and give the number one seeds a bye. Or do 5-7, like go back to the old format, 5-7-7-7.
well, they've already played, you know, 82 games, which is
Yeah.
why people are that's why guys are resting. You know, we talk about they don't play all 82 games because you got another, you know, what is that? If you go from first round to the finals, how many more games is that?
Well, it depends on if you go
Depends.
seven. I mean, it's
It's
28,
Yeah,
right?
it's potentially another 28 games.
yeah,
That's like a quarter of a
yeah,
season or
yeah.
more.
And they're not playing 80% here. They're actually playing defense because they have to. Like they're and it's too much. for them. I mean, even the younger players.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that. I don't like the plan, number one. I don't like that. I don't look, just have the top eight.
Right. Well, it's a way for the Warriors and Lakers to make it into the
Yeah,
playoffs.
so those guys can get in too, right? And then I also agree with top eight, right? And then let's just give first round a 5 game series. I think
But
yes,
owners are greedy.
yeah, it
Yeah.
doesn't make as much money, but it's better for the players. I'm actually I think a 5 game series is more exciting than a 7 game series.
Right.
So
Well, I
that
wonder what the stats are, but I'm pretty sure there's more upsets there. Right now, what? Only the Pacers are the only away team to win so far this playoffs. Not
and
counting the play-in,
and
counting the first round.
and the Pacers are playing a Bucks team without their best player.
Right.
So that's not a super upset when Giannis isn't playing.
Nope. 11 minutes left. The Clippers have taken the lead by one.
I'm telling you, I think the Clippers are dangerous. I mean, we'll see what happens in the end, but I wouldn't want to play the Clippers right now. All right, so enough NBA. Um, exciting to watch. Can't wait to see how this finishes. But let's get to the topic of the night. So NFL, here we are, 2 days away from draft day. The rumors are flying,
It's lion season, though.
right? So
I like
everybody's
those rumors.
lying. Like, and it's also like, I don't know if I mean, we talked about this before, but the hate that comes out for players, and I'll just throw Bo Nix out there. Like, he's getting hammered.
Yeah.
It almost makes you wonder, like, what's happening there? Like, are they trying to move him down? Like, and it happens with a lot of players, and it's not
Right.
just Bo Nix, but he's a big example of it. Even
Well,
Marvin Harrison Jr., though, is going through it right now.
the other people are like, I know Neighbors is good, but they're like, oh, Marvin Harrison's now. And that's the issue is people overthink stuff. And we talked about that. It's like, dude, don't overthink it. Marvin Harrison Jr. is the best. Neighbors, Odunze, they're right there.
Right.
Just don't overthink it. And with Knicks, I don't know. I think we always felt like he was fifth or sixth. Always.
No,
Like,
I think, I still think that, but what I'm saying is like when I look at media and sports analysis, or just, a lot of people look at X and social media, like he's getting hammered right now. Like they're talking about pushing him into a second round pick.
well, I mean, I can see both him and Penix fall into the second round because I'm looking at our, draft and past the Raiders.
Like who needs a quarterback? Yeah.
Yeah.
No, yeah. As I do my mock draft, like it
I
was.
mean, needs a quarterback and is willing to reach because they are reaches.
And
Let's be
and
fair.
and and I could see maybe the Seahawks getting Penix. Just because, hey, your
You got to have
starter
a backup for Gino.
They got Sam
or
Howell.
who's going to basically be the starter.
Right.
That's all there's to it. Gino's not going to be there for very much longer. So then you have Penix there, and actually that's not a real reach. Penix, he was not doing well a couple months ago because of the injuries. Then he had his pro day and he looked good. I mean, just the way he spins the ball, everyone's just impressed with it. Like, how can you not take him in the late first round? And there's still quarterbacks that they're you know
The only thing
people.
with the Seahawks is they don't have a second rounder. So
Right.
basically, you're putting a flyer on Penix and you
That's true.
don't get your second. You don't have a second rounder. So
Unless you move down and get Penix. You get a
right,
second rounder then. They could
Yeah,
always
yeah.
do that.
Well,
but they've
and
also shown the Raiders moving out of the second and back into the first.
I mean that's a good point too with the Seahawks is, and I hate to say it because I don't think Sam Howell's great, but he's formidable, right? Like he's good enough,
I forget he's a scammer.
I mean, he was the leading passer for a lot of the season.
right? But they
Did I
were
say
just
he?
they threw I think did he lead in like uh, attempts as well?
Probably.
So
I mean, the thing is with the Seahawks, I don't know if you've, I don't know with the new regime there that they want to reach for
right.
Penix or Nix.
But the Seahawks have a lot of good players in a lot of positions.
And their head coach is Baltimore's defensive coordinator, right?
Yeah.
And there's going to be tons of defensive players available when they pick.
Right. And then you don't get a pick again until the third round. Yeah, that's interesting one, but you also when you look at the quarterbacks, and we've talked about this many times, it's like this is a quarterback draft where you feel like you can't pass up on
No,
because you may not get this chance again to have seven pretty good quarterbacks.
yeah.
Well, I think it's because next year is going to suck.
Right. Yeah. So I mean, those are that's pretty interesting.
Do you
Um,
think it's going to be better than 83?
No, I don't know. Depends on your definition of it.
Well, you'd have to have three Hall of Fame quarterbacks
no,
at
because
this spot.
this is where people will always call us old heads. You know how the younger crowd loves to like throw in the old head thing for us when we're like, oh, 83 is so good,
I don't know what they're talking about. Like, really? I don't see what they're talking about here. Not at all.
Well, I'm just saying.
He's literally got a Dolphins.
But if you look at 83, right,
Yeah.
you had three Hall of Fame
Right.
quarterbacks
Like,
and then like three duds, right?
Right. But
yeah, I mean,
you that could be you could have five Hall of Fame quarterbacks in this draft.
Yeah. You mean like Trevor Lawrence, Justin Fields, Trey Lance, Mac
Right.
Jones,
Or you could have five
Zach
busts, right?
Wilson.
That's the problem is like you don't have a crystal ball, like we don't know. But talent wise, when you look at this quarterback draft, it's hard to argue the quality.
I don't know though. I feel like because it's a quarterback league, we think of it as quality, but Penix and Nix are second round. McCarthy, they're all second round grades, I would give. Right?
yeah, I
Well,
mean,
yeah, but here's the problem, right? The league has changed to what? A passing and a scoring league, right? And what we know from watching LeBron James, stats all of a sudden makes you seem like the GOAT.
But
well,
that's
it's
what I'm
all
saying. I just named off that five quarterback class. And the problem is everyone gets the thinking that you need a quarterback, which you do. So people overreach. And that's what I'm saying. JJ McCarthy should not be in the top 10. Penix and Nick shouldn't be in the top 15.
the
But who knows? That could
eye
happen.
test. The eye test with JJ, I agree. Because if you watched him during the season, Michigan ran the ball a lot. He was in play action. They roll him out. He's quick, but he's not very big. He's got a good arm, but you don't see it. You didn't see it that much in the games, and he does
Right.
make some mistakes in big moments. He almost threw away the Alabama game. Very lucky. There's a couple throws.
Right.
Like
But
he
let's have a JJ conversation for a second. You're talking about a guy who went to a school that it's a very specific play style. So he doesn't ever have a chance to show anything. Everybody says, "Oh, well, he threw for 150 yards." Well, that's because Blake Corum ran the ball 30 times,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
right? And so then he comes out and he competes in the combine, which a lot of the other quarterbacks don't. He has a pretty good combine, and then he has a really good pro day, and now his stock grows up. But
And
now
he's a winner.
everybody comes back and says, "Well, look at him at Michigan." But you can't look at him in Michigan. You got to look at him at his pro day and combine because Michigan, you're stuck in this play style.
yeah. I
Whoa, Steve. You've been anti JJ McCarthy the entire time we've been doing
I'm
this.
not promoting
Dude.
JJ McCarthy. What I'm saying is look at him objectively.
Yeah, objectively, he's a second round player, but he's
He's
going to
like,
be.
it doesn't matter. He's like objectively still second round.
Well, he is. I mean, think about it. What you just said means second rounder to me. He's not a proven talent. He has upside, but we don't know what we're getting. That's a
Okay,
second rounder.
so let's say he played 4 years at Oregon. Would his draft stock be different if JJ McCarthy played 4 years at Oregon in a high, fast paced run and shoot style program? You don't
If
know why, because he didn't do it.
Well, yeah, if he would show the throw, I mean, because that's the thing is, Nick's did it, did for a few years, not 4 years, but he does. You could tell he doesn't have the arm strength. You think that JJ McCarthy has the arm strength, but you just don't know what his decision making would be with that arm strength.
Yeah, and because you didn't see it because he played in a very specific program, right? That was Harbaugh's style. Even if JJ McCarthy was Caleb Williams would have passed for 150 yards a game at Michigan.
He would have transferred from Michigan because he would have wanted to.
so
The thing
real
is, the problem is what history has dictated when you reach for upside at quarterback, usually it fails.
yeah. I think the real question is on draft night, does JJ cut his hair? Because dude, he's got some afro. His hair is just like that's the eye test to me. That's what pops out. His hair is just like, Jesus, cut your hair, dude. Put some gel in it, man.
Well, the dude's weird, first of all. I don't know if you watch a lot of things he does,
Yeah, I
but
do.
this
I
guy's
don't know
weird.
about weird. I mean, he's some girl told me that. Like, she's like, I don't know about him. I was like,
Well, at least he doesn't put mayo in his coffee.
who does that?
Levis.
Yeah, dude,
Oh, dude,
JJ probably puts
I
mayo on his face and like
oh
sleeps at night
no,
by the
dude. Oh
goalposts.
God.
Like
Stop. You know how much I love mayonnaise, guys. Right?
so, but regardless, I'm not a promoter of JJ, but what I'm not is also someone who's going to say, I'm not going to judge a guy by a guy who lived in a scheme for 4 years or 3 years and say, he can't be a good NFL quarterback because you
Yeah.
don't know yet.
And I'd say if Minnesota is in that position, I mean, Minnesota's down there around 11. The question is, do you take the chance and get him at 11? Or do you
Yeah.
move up to 4? And because the Giants, you never know. The Giants are so stupid because you signed Daniel Jones to a stupid contract. And then what are you going to do? You're going to draft another guy that's what? He's the 4th best quarterback in this draft, and you're going to draft him at 5.
Considering what is I mean, what has Daniel Jones had on his team?
Right. Nothing. Absolutely nothing.
He
And now you're
doesn't.
instead of drafting, some help for him, you're going to draft a replacement who
Exactly.
you don't even know is going to be any good
Right.
compared
Yeah,
to
and
him.
and the thing is, you have to give Daniel Jones at least another year because you paid him all. If you didn't pay him the money, I know they didn't have the choice because that's the market, because the market's idiotic. They had to pay him. or
Right.
move him. But you couldn't really move him because you really had nothing to replace him with. And,
Well,
and that
talk about the market. Let's talk about the market for a second. What is Brock Purdy going to get? You know how big his contract's going to be?
yeah, it's gonna be in the twos.
They're already
Well,
talking about him having the biggest contract ever.
Oh, jeez. Oh,
well,
no.
it all depends on who's next, right? And who's that? Because Tua's going to get a big contract.
Right.
I don't know why.
Dak is.
So stupid. It's so idiotic. It's absolutely. But
But
I
you got to
get it
understand,
because it's the
dude,
market.
I know there's a little bit of Brock hate in the room, but you got to understand like
Dude,
where he's
Brock's
been,
not on
right?
my all hate team, dude.
But he's been there, right? He's been in the Super Bowl now. He's been in the NFC Championship twice. So he's
But
been there.
are you going to really, if you're the 49ers, going to pay him that astronomical amount of money when Jimmy Garoppolo got you to a Super Bowl
Like I
too?
think they might.
They might
The
have
only reason they're good is because they don't have to pay any quarterbacks. If you have to pay Brock Purdy, they're already talking about trading Ayuk. Okay, that's your number one receiver. I know Debo is your best receiver, but he's not a receiver. Ayuk is your number one receiver, and he's
Yeah, like
unhappy because
solid, like straight wide receiver. Debo does a lot
right.
of other
Yes.
things. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
the league is going to be like it's going to be like the Montana Young thing. It's like okay, now he's getting into his fifth year option, right? It's like, did he
He
get us
doesn't
to a
get one
Super
though.
Bowl? Did he win a Super Bowl? No. Okay, let's get let's get a top five quarterback to replace him, so we don't have to pay him $300 million.
Right. Well, with Purdy, there is no option. That's only for first round quarterbacks.
Right.
Oh,
Yeah,
duh.
no, that's what I'm saying. They have to pay him or not. And
Yeah.
it's like I said, the
Franchise
speculation.
tag.
The speculation is he might become the highest paid quarterback ever,
Well,
which
yeah,
is crazy.
someone else, and then Kirk Cousins will come back
Well,
and
oh
be
yeah, yeah. Dude, Kirk Cousins will come back when he's like 50 because he has the best agent ever.
He's
I
like
don't
the
know.
fourth. He's the fourth highest paid quarterback ever,
Right. All time.
all time.
I will tell you another one that had a great agent was Sam Bradford.
Right.
Oh, dude, that dude got paid
Dude, I think Sam Bradford make like $100 million, right? And played what, like
and disappeared off the
12
face of the
games?
earth. I mean, Sam Bradford's not even on TV. He's not even on ESPNU like at 12 in the morning. Sam Bradford has disappeared with like Diddy, dude. He's gone.
Yeah, dude.
I totally forgot about Sam Bradford until you said something.
Yeah, we
Like,
don't you don't want to
he's
talk
no
about
Matt
Diddy.
Leinart. He's
That
not.
Oh man.
Yeah, Diddy goes back to that's a bad road.
Yeah, let's not talk that.
So let's get into draft. So the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna do our snake draft.
Okay.
And then we'll talk about our mock drafts. So snake draft, um you guys ready to rock, paper, scissors for who goes first?
You guys, no,
Well,
I'll
you
go
go
last.
first, don't you?
You want me to go first?
Well, it's the Bears, right?
All right, I'll go first. I'll go first. You guys, who goes second?
Derek. I'll go third.
Okay.
All right, there we go.
And then
So
we're doing
obviously,
this. This one we are doing as if we are the GM, not of
yeah,
what they would likely pick.
yep. And what's gone is gone. And then this is how the draft will go with us three HSC experts as GMs. And I mean, it sucks to go first because, obviously it's Caleb Williams. There is no other pick. Because, like, I mean, Derek, you've said that. I mean, I think, Derek, you probably said this probably 10 times that you get fired if you don't pick Caleb Williams.
I've been saying that since the Bears got the number one pick.
That's what I'm saying. I've probably heard this from you at least 10 times. And you know, you guys both know that I'm a big Justin Fields fan. But now he's gone, so it doesn't matter anymore. Caleb Williams, number one.
He's if he's not with me, he's against me. He's my enemy.
I this is the one guy I'll still root for, even on the Steelers.
Poor guy has to be with Russell Wilson, though.
I'm still a Justin Fields fan. I don't care where he plays. So Caleb Williams, number one.
Okay, the Commanders, and since we can't do trades, or I would trade out. But with the Commanders, I'm taking Jaden Daniels.
Jaden Daniels. Just out of curiosity, what would you trade out for?
Oh, well, I'd have to see who would, what would be offered.
Right.
But you know, one person said, and this was crazy, but it was both of Minnesota's firsts and Justin Jefferson.
Oh, that is a little bit crazy. So then what do you move? Oh, wait. So you get
11,
11
25, and Justin
and
Jefferson.
24
Or 20.
no, you're not getting Justin Jefferson. I think 11, 24, and then maybe like next year's one. That's more
Yeah, but
likely.
it's tough because you're moving from 2 to 11.
Yeah.
So you're getting out of that top range of getting the best player available, you know what I mean? So to move from 2 to 11, you would have to give up a lot, especially in the quarterback. It's different this year because of how desperate teams are for quarterbacks.
Yeah. In that top 12. So Jaden Daniels goes to Wes, Patriots.
I gotta go with Drake May. I don't want to, but yeah, I mean, you're gonna have to get a guy that's not Mac Jones, right? Mac Jones was had to fall on the sword because he had to follow up Brady. You can't follow up Brady, you know, and so I think you they sacrificed Mac Jones and Drake May. I think he comes in and he can reestablish them as a a decent team fairly soon. Even though I really want to take defense because it's the Patriots, but there's not a lot of options down the line to get a quarterback. And in the NFL, you need a quarterback.
Yeah.
And the Patriots
Well,
need a quarterback
and you
desperately.
got rid of Mac Jones. Like you've committed at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you got Jacoby Brissett and Zappy, right?
Right. Yeah,
Yeah.
you've committed to that. So, and Drake May's your guy. So then we're gonna snake back West at 4.
With Arizona.
Arizona.
Yeah.
Um, I got to go with Marvin Harrison Jr. just because it's Marvin Harrison Jr. and they need a guy to be that, you know, a
Better than
playmaker.
Greg Dortch.
Yeah, their receiving core is nothing to brag about at all. So Marvin Harrison is the obvious choice. But I love Malik Neighbors.
Yeah.
But I think you need a stat. Arizona, just as a franchise, they just have never really seemed like they're an actual franchise. Arizona Cardinals. That doesn't even sound like Arizona. Come on. So Marvin Harrison Jr. can be the franchise.
Yeah, I like that pick. We go back to 5 for Derek.
The Chargers,
Chargers.
This is going to surprise people.
No, I don't even, I already don't like this.
Because it's Harbaugh and because it's Greg Roman as your OC, I'm going Joe Alt.
Wow. That is interesting.
They want to run the ball, they want to protect.
Right.
And then you have Slater and Joe Alt as your tackles.
Which is pretty solid.
And I mean, they spent a first round pick last year on
On a
Johnson.
receiver, which almost feels wasted.
Right. And then they got Palmer. Um, yeah, I don't think they're gonna want to spend it on Malik Neighbors is better, but I just think with that franchise, they're gonna want to establish the running game more.
Well, you hope, right, that Quentin Johnston comes around.
Right.
And then Josh Palmer's not terrible.
No.
Quentin Johnson, if he doesn't play well, like they have a horrible receiving core. But if Quentin Johnson plays decent, now you have a average Josh Palmer and an average Quentin Johnson.
Well, and I look at it this way. Also, I don't really, if I'm the Chargers, they can get a Franklin or a McMillan or a Polk in the second round,
Right, right. It's
where you're not going
interesting.
to get a all pro, could be Hall of Fame tackle.
Right. Well, and Joe Alt's that guy.
Yeah, he's a 10-year guy.
In my opinion, Joe Alt's the best lineman in the draft. And he is a Pro Bowler probably for most of his career.
And think about it. We always used to think Wisconsin, but isn't Notre Dame like
It
offensive lineman
it
U
is
now?
offensive lineman you, and it's
Yeah.
been for a while.
You ever had any skill guys that, dude?
Yeah. So good. That's a good pick. At 6, at the Giants, I'm absolutely going to go Malik Neighbors here. I think he might be better than Marvin Harrison Jr. I think Marvin Harrison Jr. is the safer pick, but I think Malik Neighbors is the more explosive pick. And when you get him there at 6, you have to take him. Considering you want to give Daniel Jones a weapon, to go with what he's got. So I don't see how you could possibly pass up Malik Neighbors here.
If I would have taken Neighbors, would you have gone to Dunze at 6?
Maybe. I
Or is that too
I
rich?
may have actually then taken Alt, actually.
You know,
I may have then switched back and said, you know what?
to
Be
protect Daniel Jones.
well,
Yeah.
because this is not a popular opinion, but I think Joe Alt actually is separate from the rest of the linemen.
Right.
Not by a lot, not by a lot, but by enough that if you need linemen, you got to take them.
Right. Well, I kind of feel the same with it's Harrison Jr. and Neighbors and a Dunze, but after that, it's like I could wait till the second round.
Oh, yeah. After that, I don't. It doesn't matter. I don't think. But so I think 6, I'll take Malik Neighbors, and then 7, I'll go back to back here with Tennessee, and I'm going to take Brock Bowers. I think you need some type of safety outlet. And I think if you want a safety outlet, I don't think you get better than Brock Bowers. He's a guy that can go deep, he can go short, he'll catch, he'll break tackles. He does it all. And they need someone after they've literally gotten rid of all of their best players. I don't know how Tennessee constantly is like, we got a good player. Hey, let's just get rid of him.
Well, though they do have Hopkins and Ridley now.
Right, right, right. Hopkins, you don't know. Like he had flashes last year.
It seems like when any receiver goes like Julio Jones to Tennessee, they're done. It's like they go to Tennessee, like you just write them, it's a wrap. They're
Or
done.
they get rid of him like AJ Brown, and then he's super
It's the
solid.
curse of AJ Brown,
That's
really.
That's why if Neighbors fell to Tennessee, if I was Tennessee, I wouldn't even take him. I'm like,
Right.
we just ruin receivers.
I like Brock Bowers' fit with what they have right now. I think he's a great outlet. So I'll take 7 Tennessee Brock Bowers.
All right. With the Falcons, we're going to take the first defenseman off the board, and we're going Dallas Turner.
Ooh. What? What?
That's a great pick. That's such a good pick, dude. Because that's exactly what the Falcons need.
You know,
They need an edge. That's an edge because
Right.
they need an edge on defense. That's yeah. I had Latua here, but that's just yeah.
They're very similar.
Yeah.
They're very similar.
well, I feel like Turner could be better than Anderson, who went 3 last
Right.
year. So
That is an interesting argument there. Like who's better? Because I feel like Anderson probably made more of a splash, right? But I think Turner is probably more disciplined in his play,
Right.
right?
Anderson gets around probably quicker.
Right.
Dallas makes
But he
more play.
also, when he gets around quicker, he loses his edge, or
Loses edge, yeah.
he cuts in too hard and then doesn't do outside contain.
He's not as disciplined.
He's not as disciplined as Turner.
So Dallas is a better football player.
Right. That's an interesting
Like what a concept.
take.
He's actually an outside linebacker.
Right. He's actually an outside linebacker.
uh-oh, Wes, the pressure is on here.
Oh, you got it. Wes, what are the Bears gonna do at 9?
They're going with Rome and Duze. Going with Rome. Caleb needs it. Caleb needs all the confidence he can get. And Rome is, I mean, his measurements, he goes up to the ball, he's quick, out of cuts, he runs great routes, and he's slippery.
Right.
In his route running. It's like you think he's not that fast, and then he goes up over you, around you. You know, he's smooth.
So wait, let me just get this straight, Wes. So what you're gonna tell me is that the Bears are gonna have Caleb Williams, the #1 draft pick, and then the thing is gonna have Keenan Allen, right? And then
More.
DJ Moore, and then Roman Duze
With Komet.
with Komet, right? That's what you're gonna tell me that's what the Bears are gonna come out with next year.
That would be pretty, and DeAndre Swift too. So that's a pretty.
Well, and Herbert's pretty good too.
I heard that he might be on the trade box though, but
Well, you got to remember, Keenan's getting up in years. You know, he's got a lot of miles, but he's going to be your guy when you need a play. They're going to get him the ball.
He's had his best years in the last 3 years.
But like I said, it's he's getting to the point where he's logged a lot of miles.
Right.
Yeah, he has. But you never know when that drop off's coming.
Right.
And you want a real #1 like a Duze who's got the speed, he's got the youth. He goes deep on DJ Moore, of course, can go deep, but he's kind of more like a Debo. He could be like a Debo in this offense, DJ Moore. That's how dangerous this could be.
That's an insane offense.
if I was a Bears fan, I would be happy with those 2 picks.
Yeah. I can't.
Even though you really want, I want to take Latu here, but come on, you got to go all in now.
Yeah. Although if they do that, I guarantee Steve's buying Madden this year.
Right, dude. I'll the best Madden team, dude. I'll dominate.
Because remember, I don't care what anybody's. There's a lot of pressure on Caleb Williams, and he might struggle early if he doesn't have all the weapons at his disposal.
Right, but that takes a lot of pressure off you.
When you got those targets, here, let me just play catch.
Yeah.
Now, Steve, as the Bears fan, you know more than both of us. Is the tackle situation with the Bears good enough that you don't take a tackle there?
Yeah, so if you want to, I mean, we'll get into our personal drafts later, but no, I had a tackle there because the tackle situation is not good enough. You already have Keenan Allen, DJ Moore, and Cole Kmet.
Right.
Would it be nice? Would it be this awesome ice cream sundae and to throw Roman Duce on the top? Yeah, I would love it, but you
Nah.
got to get a tackle.
I'll just, I in our draft, I did a Dunze also. So
Right.
I'm on page with Wes on this.
Yeah, you're on Team Sunday. You're on Team Cherry on top.
That's right. Well, because they
Um,
drafted a tackle last year at that
I
position.
know. But dude, you gotta have line though, because
Yeah.
look, I'm not an anti Caleb Williams guy, right? I think he's got a lot of talent. He's got great arm strength. He moves in the pocket well, but I don't think he's able to take hits.
Yeah.
I think when he gets popped in the mouth, he's gonna find out what the NFL's about.
I
And
I another problem is he has got to he can't run around like and be careless with the ball
right.
in his hand. He runs around way too much, and sometimes it's spectacular, and sometimes it's stupid.
And you can do that, dude, in college, right?
In college, in the
But you can't
Pac-12,
do that in the NFL
you can't even do that in the SEC. You can do that in
unless
the
you're
Pac-12.
Lamar Jackson.
Yeah,
And he's not Lamar Jackson. He may throw the ball like Patrick Mahomes. He's like Willie Mays Hayes,
yeah.
Run like
except he
me,
doesn't run like May, run like Hayes and hit like Mays, dude. He
like
he's
his
not
sister.
Lamar Jackson and Patrick Mahomes, dude. He's not both of
Well, you hit like my grandmother.
them. So, well, we're gonna go back to number 10 here. Wes, you got to go again at the Jets.
Um, I gotta go with Latu here, just because it's almost like best available defensive player. Well, actually, wait a minute. No, what am I talking about? No, we haven't done. Okay, this is my draft. No, Fashanu, offensive tackle. Let's say
Yeah,
Dang it,
because they,
Wes.
yeah, they need.
you
I
got to
mean,
go there.
you got a
Got to go there.
4-year-old quarterback who's running for a vice president. Oh, wait a minute. No,
He literally will
he
be by the
could
end of the
he
year.
could be like the Secret Service.
Yeah, I think you got to take Fashanu there as well.
What a joke.
Okay.
So 11. Now back to the Vikings, Derek.
Yeah, I gotta redo my draft here because I was getting everything done and then Wes changed it up after I picked it.
Well, it's now what's available, dude.
That's
JJ
what.
McCarthy's going to the Vikings.
Yeah.
I mean, they don't have to trade up. They still get to keep their 23rd pick,
Yep. Keep
and
both
he
their
falls right
draft
in the
picks,
lap.
and then you get JJ. I mean, I don't look. That's not horrible. You don't trade anything, right?
And you
Yeah,
still have another first rounder.
you give up nothing, and even if JJ's a bust here, you still get another first rounder to pick, your next guy too. That's not horrible. So I got the Broncos,
Oh,
and
good. Good that you have them.
it's Bo Nix.
Whoa. Whoa.
And here's
Hold
why.
your horsies here.
Here's why it's Bo Nix.
Jesus.
Because he is a Sean Payton type of guy.
He does
He's
what
the
he's
type of
told.
guy who he's ready to play, right? And all Sean Payton wants is somebody he can tell what to do.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly.
But
That's
what
And
about Zach Wilson?
Zach Wilson is what's called damage control.
Yeah.
Dude, JJ McCarthy's Zach Wilson. Come on, man. Great metric, great throws and under no pressure.
So the reason I think that Bo Nix goes here is 100% that he's moldable, and that's all Sean Payton cares about.
Yeah, he is.
So I honestly think that they go Bo Nix here.
Okay, Steve, pressure's on here now.
Right, because now I got the Raiders. And if I'm the Raiders right here, because I think that both their quarterbacks are trash, I have to take Michael Penix Jr. Have to.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I mean, look, you guys might like AOC, and I hate it that it's got the same name as
Dude,
AOC.
dude, I was just gonna say, I like AOC. What's going on here?
Um,
Yeah.
but neither of them are franchise quarterbacks, right? So
Yeah.
can you get away with them for a year or two? Sure, you can, but I'll tell you right now, uh, your coach will not doesn't want that.
No. He
He's a
doesn't have a
winner.
lot,
He is a winner, and he wants to win right now.
Right.
and he has to win sooner rather than later.
Right.
That's all there's to it. And the only way to do it is a guy. I like Penix, and I think if if that's all you got to go with, it's not a bad option at 13. You take him and you just roll with it because you don't know what he's going to do. You saw what he did at Washington, and you got
So
Devontae Adams, and he's just he. It's hard. There's so many variables that you can't account for, except the fact is he doesn't like throwing off his spot. Michigan
yeah,
got him off his spot, and he was hurt, and he didn't play very well.
let me tell you why that I think that this is a good pick for them. Because what I saw from the Raiders in the second half of the year, most of the year, outside of like a really bad play from Garoppolo and things like that, they got the most out of their players from all their positions. Even they're not great players, like they played up, right? A lot of their average players played better than they were.
Yeah.
And if you can continue to get that play from your average or above average players, what do you need to put in place? You have to put in place a quarterback
Yeah.
to lead them, right? To lead your team, to actually throw the ball to, hey, Devontae Adams, the best receiver in the league. So you need someone and you don't have it. And the only option you will have at this point is Michael Penix.
Right. I'm not in a world where there's no trades, that's fine. I would be more to take the best tackle available and then trade back and get Penix.
But if
But
he's available, right? You
yeah,
don't
well,
know.
I looked. I mean, yeah,
Yeah, who's going to take him later? I get
the
that.
the
Right.
Saints, Colts, Seahawks, Jags, Bengals, Ram. I mean, maybe the Rams. Um, Pittsburgh's not. Miami's not. Philadelphia's not. Minnesota's already gonna have JJ McCarthy. I doubt the Cowboys will. The Packers won't. Bucks just re-signed Mayfield. Arizona's got Kyler Murray. You got Josh Allen. You got Goff, Lamar
Right.
Jackson, Purdy,
But
and
do you
I
want to
still think
live
Seattle is maybe
do
possible.
you want to live in that game of maybe he'll be available?
do you think? Okay, here's because I'm for me with the draft, I'm more of mitigated cost.
Yeah.
And what I get the whole if this is your guy, you take him. But I'm not a breacher. So like is Penix so much better than Rattler?
That's the thing you don't really know because I mean Rattler didn't have a very good. He did all right,
Yeah.
but yeah, you know he's a good prospect. If he's a guy that
So
maybe
if you're
people
gonna
could
ask me who do I want starting or who do I want to be my quarterback for the next 3 years, Penix or Rattler, I'm taking Penix.
Right. But I'm just saying, let's say they get an all-pro offensive tackle at 13
Right.
and roll the dice to say, okay, we will see and maybe
trade up.
trade up with the Bengals, right? So that means the Saints, Colts, Seahawks, Jacks.
Yeah.
Um,
But
if
in my opinion, I've already lost the only two Pro Bowl tackles I think are really in the draft.
oh really, you don't think Fawaga would be?
I mean, he could be. I'm not saying he can't. What I'm saying, the two guarantees for me are gone.
Well, considering this, Penix is a lefty, and your right tackle is Thayer Munford, and that's it. You don't have any depth. Your right guard, okay, Steve. Now here, your right guard is right now Cody Whitehair.
Oh, and you know how good he is on the Bears.
Yes. So right now your right side is Whitehair and Munford.
Yeah, it's tough.
And the whole thing you said about Caleb Williams, you need to get him a tackle to protect him. You're killing Penix then. Because by the time the second round comes around, all the tackles are going to be gone.
Yeah. But you're saying I'm just gonna run, but well, your hope is that he falls. And I
Yeah.
get that, right?
Well, because I mean, okay, the Seahawks take him. They're not helping their team out until the third round. They
No.
basically punted this year.
Dude, but like the Rams could take him.
Right. But the Rams, um, they have other needs. Aaron Donald just retired. That's a huge
Right.
hole.
The Bucks could take him.
They
Mm.
might, I guess, but they're in win now mode too because they won the division last year. So why wouldn't they go
Yeah.
for it?
Yeah, like what, 9-8?
Yeah, but they also lost Shaq Barrett. They lost Devin White. Their
Yeah.
defense is
No, I mean I get what you're saying, and I don't. What I'm saying is that the reason I'm taking him right now is because I have to fill the hole.
yeah. I mean, I won't if that happens, I won't be
Right.
sad. So I'm not like, but yeah, you're right. Though it's true. Is like if let's say they take Fuaga and then don't get Penix or Rattler, then I'll be disappointed.
Right. Then you're screwed, right? Later.
Yeah.
So, which again, yeah, might not be the best pick, but looking at their quarterback situation, especially with their future, that's tough. Because we talked about this before. If you run Aiden O'Connell and you run Uncle Rico, you're gonna go 500.
Yeah.
That means you're picking 16, 17 again.
Yeah, I know. Your your ceiling is 6 or 7 seed.
Yeah, at best.
Yeah. And the whole game is to be in the Super Bowl. So I get it. I mean, I
Yeah.
understand.
So
I would just try and see if I could get more value and get
you're
Penix.
a gambling man. Derek's like, I'm gambling. He's like, give me 500 on black.
It is Las Vegas.
Always bet on
It is
black.
Las Vegas. All right, so let's go back to the Saints.
Okay, well, with the Saints now, I'm taking Fawaga. Tackle is their biggest need, and
Yeah.
he's the third tackle, I think. So
Wes, the Colts.
I don't know. I'm taking Tieran Arnold, maybe corner, from Bama.
first
Just
corner taken.
Really?
yeah,
Yeah.
corners are viable. You need them.
So you got the
Well, you got the
Colts.
Seahawks now, two Wes.
Yeah, so now
What?
you got the Seahawks at 16.
Um, I go.
Hang on.
I had this. Defensive. Where's that? I got Jackson Powers Johnson. They need a center.
Oh, okay.
Well, it's a need. They're like one of the only teams that really needs a center. So Jackson Powers Johnson.
All right. And then for the Jags, I'm taking Quinion Mitchell, corner from Toledo.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because, like you said, they need a corner. You need corners in the league.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's kind of important, especially if you're on an island some of the time.
The Bengals are on the clock.
Tick, tick,
Oh wait,
tick.
so let's see. Who'd you take at the Jags?
The Jags was Quinon Mitchell, corner.
Really? Okay, so the Bengals, I'm taking Kool-Aid,
Oh, yeah. You got it.
right?
Then we
Yeah.
Yeah,
get
I
the
mean
Rams.
you gotta go Kool-Aid here.
Yeah.
And then I'll go back to the Rams. So that's my pick again, right?
Yep.
Oh, shit. Did we already take I feel like you took Fatanu, right?
Fatanu from Washington.
Yeah.
No, he's available.
Okay, so I'll take Fatanu there. I think the Rams need an offensive line.
Man, okay. Well, the Steelers will take J.C. Latham.
Yeah, that's a yeah, that's a good pick. I went
Okay,
back and
Wes.
forth between those two.
Yeah. It's all on the Dolphins now. Dolphins are on the clock.
Wes, you got the Dolphins here.
Promoting, no self
Yeah,
promotion here.
he's got the
It's
cup.
like
He's got the sign.
1985, dude.
What are the Dolphins gonna do at 21?
I think the Dolphins will go defense and they will go for Byron Murphy second.
Okay.
Really?
They need to replace Christian
Yeah,
Watkins.
Wilkins. Yeah, because he went to the Raiders.
Okay,
That's
Wes, you
that.
got
Yeah,
the
that's
Eagles.
actually that's a good pick.
Yeah,
That's
that's
a
a good
real
pick.
good pick.
I'm torn between him and Newton as the first DT.
I have Murphy as the first DT. Yeah, 100%. Right back to you on the Eagles, Wes.
Well, not so exciting, but they need a safety, so I'm going to Cooper DeJean from Iowa.
I told you he'd go earlier than you thought.
Not much earlier than I thought.
I mean, it's 22.
Well, I got the Vikings again. I already got my franchise quarterback, and now I'm just taking best player available because Leatu Latu is still available.
Oh, that's interesting. More than Chop Robinson, right?
Yeah. I got Latu. I had Latu going a lot more earlier in mine, so
Yeah. I think he's solid. He's good. He's really good. Cowboys here. This is not a popular pick, but I think they need it. Otherwise, Dak cannot be successful. I think they go Brian Thompson Jr. here
okay.
from LSU, which is sneaky good. Better than most people understand because he played with neighbors.
Yeah, I have him going a lot earlier than this.
So, yeah, Cowboys there. And
Oh,
then,
Steve, look who you get.
of
The
course, I
Pack.
get the Packers. Of course, I get the Packers.
You got to make the Packers better.
Trade down.
I think they have a lot of solid players around, and so I think they go with the Oregon lineman Jackson Powers.
Oh, he's already gone.
Oh, you
He
guys
went to
took where'd you
Seattle.
guys take him?
Seattle. I took him to Seattle.
Oh, you took him at Seattle. Dang it, I missed that one.
The pick has been forfeited.
Pick is the Bears.
Oh, then I'll probably go Jared Verse then.
Oh yeah. Why wouldn't you?
Yeah, I mean, you were talking about best player available.
Sure.
Like you have to go Verse, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah. If you can't get Powers there, you get Verse.
The Buccaneers are mad at you because they were licking their chops looking for verse. So gonna have to go with Chop
Yeah,
Robinson. Yes.
right. I mean, he's easily the best player available at this point.
Yeah.
This is the pick. This is an interesting pick here, Wes. What do you do with the Cardinals at this pick?
Dude, I'm sick of the Cardinals already. I already picked. I
It's your
already picked.
second Cardinals pick.
Well, you're
Dude,
the
what a
Cardinals
boring.
GM, so of course you get
Dude,
both
Mr.
picks.
Excitement over here. I get the Cardinals. Wow, maybe I should just change my bumper sticker here. I don't even have a. I have the St. Louis Cardinals bumper sticker. I don't. Dude, I I go with Nate Wiggins, a quarterback from Clemson. I
That's a
think
good pick. That's solid for them.
Yeah, and West, you get Buffalo.
Yeah, back to Buffalo.
Oh no, that's right, Buffalo. Oh shoot. The kid from South Carolina, the receiver. What's his name?
From
South
South
Carolina.
Carolina.
Yeah. Oh, excuse me. No, I'll take Adonai Mitchell out of.
Yeah, dude. I was like, dude, if you're
Yeah.
not taking one of the two Texas receivers,
No,
Yeah,
he
I'll
was
take
going
Adonai
for
Mitchell.
Leggett, but Leggett's more of a second rounder.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. There's two Texas receivers, and so I think either
Yeah.
Worthy or Mitchell is good
They
here.
need a one. They desperately
Right.
need. They need a stud wide receiver, and they could have complementary guys around him, but they
Yeah.
need one guy. And
So you taking Mitchell then?
yeah,
This one's
Then
tough. Let's see.
Lions.
I think I'm gonna reach a little bit, but he is being invited to where is it at this year? Detroit. Well, it's Detroit.
In
Perfect.
Detroit.
Darius Robinson, edge from Missouri.
Really? They need an edge?
Yeah. I mean, they picked up Marcus Davenport, but he's not that great.
Yeah.
You need someone on the other side of Hutchinson. Their other needs, it's looking at like, the board wasn't there. The other pick I was thinking of was Worthy,
Yeah.
but that's more of a luxury because you do have Jamison Williams and Amon St. Brown.
But what about defense? Like,
Well, that's it. I took Robinson,
Yeah.
edge. They traded for Carlton Davis. They got a corner, so and most of the corners are gone. I mean, if you're looking at Johnny Newton maybe, but yeah, I just like to get the edge.
Yeah. I mean, I probably would have went Keon Mitchell from Toledo.
He's already gone.
Did we take him? Who took him?
Um, Let me look back at the draft results.
Thought we got Arnold
He
and
went
McKinstry.
17 to the Jags.
Where'd Terran Arnold go? Terran Arnold.
He went 15 to the Colts.
Oh, okay. I missed that one. And then that's a good pick then. What I got? Baltimore here?
Yep.
Oh boy, man. Dude, like all my picks are gone now. I mean, I think because they lost, linebacker, you got to go Edgerton Cooper from Texas A&M. I think they need to replace linebacker. So I'll go there and then I'll go San Francisco. Do we pick Nate Wiggins?
Yeah.
Dang it.
All the good corners are gone.
Oh man. So this might not be the most popular pick, but I'm gonna go Keon Coleman.
Okay.
You're gonna add another stud receiver, and that's gonna be a brutal offense.
Yeah. Until they trade Ayuk.
Even if you trade Ayuk, you're still solid. You got Keon Coleman, going with Debo and Kittle, with McCaffrey out of the back, dude, that's good. That's solid.
Well, with the last pick, I was leaning toward Worthy, but you know what? They got Hollywood Brown now. So the Chiefs really, well, it just depends on what is going to happen with Rice. But I'm going with the upside here, and I'm going to Marius Mims.
Wow. Man, I don't have him till like later in my second round.
Really?
But he's solid. He's a good player.
Dude, I thought I had Kansas City's pick, and I was going to, since we're entering the second phase or the day of the draft, I was going to step out and maybe take a nap, and Taylor Swift would take over and announce for Kansas City.
There you go.
Dude, she'd like come in and just like buy a player for you.
We need some eye candy around here now. No one wants to look at that.
So let me take over your draft pick or take over your whole season. That's a pretty solid first round.
Oh,
So I'm gonna have to go back. I'll go back and I'm gonna recreate our first round.
Well, I saved it. I can send you the screenshots.
Yeah, send that over because I want to see how close we are on that snake draft. But the problem is that there's gonna be trades,
Trades and
right? So that was actually really fun. I missed a couple in there in the middle, so but there's a lot of interesting picks that we went through there. So let's talk about our mock draft. So we each have a mock draft. So in your mock draft, let's just go down the picks.
Okay.
So number one, Caleb Williams. Everybody's got Caleb Williams.
Yeah.
Yep.
Number two, Jaden Daniels.
I got Drake May.
You got Drake May going to Washington, huh?
Yeah.
What do you
That fits better.
what do you got?
Well, I don't remember. Were we going to do trades?
No,
In the
well, this is yeah. Oh, in your mock draft, right? Did you trade?
Yeah. Yeah, I did
Minnesota.
trade.
So who do you got going to who?
Raiders. Jaden Daniels.
So
Oh
you
wow.
got the Raiders trading up to two. Nice.
Based on my sources, at, at Buffalo Wild Wings, yeah, Jaden Daniels.
Wow, dude. So you got Raiders trading up to two, going Jane Daniels.
Yep, they got to
Number
go.
three,
Oh,
I got
I got
Jaden Daniels.
you got Jane Daniels. I have JJ McCarthy
Oh my gosh.
going to the Patriots at number three.
That's about white.
yeah.
If it ain't white, it ain't right.
Always bet on white.
That's the Patriots motto.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Maybe
Wes, what do you
not,
got at three then?
maybe not as white, but white enough. Drake May.
Drake May.
And he's from North Carolina, so he's
Yeah.
pretty white.
Okay, number four,
Marvin Harrison.
Marvin Harrison. What do you got, Wes?
I do have a trade. I do have the Vikings here. Arizona trade out. Vikings get JJ McCarthy. They don't want the Giants to get him.
Wow.
Oh,
So Vikings trade up to four for JJ McCarthy. Number five, Chargers. We don't have a trade out for that yet. I have Joel, which
yeah.
it's funny
I have
that
all.
Derek, you picked him there. What do you got at five, Wes?
I got neighbors just because he's just so, to me, it's like they clone like Jamar Chase's at LSU. He's just like Jamar Chase, but just a little bit more athletic. You know?
Well, and the Chargers need receivers.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that. Six, New York. I got neighbors.
Yeah,
Oh
me
no.
too.
Damn it. I lost my mock. What is it, six?
Six is the Giants.
Um, I got I got Joel just
Yeah,
because they need to protect Daniel Jones.
yeah, it's not horrible.
No.
Seven. This is an interesting one. I'm interested to see what you guys got here. Titans.
I got Fashanu.
Ashanu. I have Brock Bowers.
I have Fashanu too.
Yeah, I mean, dude, Tennessee needs so much. You could literally pick almost any position for them. Eight is Atlanta. I got Dallas Turner.
Dallas Turner.
Latu.
And then nine Bears. I got Fashanu.
I got it, and I got a Dunze.
Again, Dunze.
Because by that time, Fashanu and Alder gone. So
In
my
your pick, in your
yeah,
draft.
right.
But in my draft, Fashanu's still
Yeah.
available. Wes, what do you got at nine?
Duze.
Newsday. Well, at 10, the Jets, I have in Doomsday.
I
Yeah.
have Bowers.
Um, the Jets, I got Dallas Turner.
Oh, that's a good pick. Like if you're the Jets and you get Turner at 10, here's the biggest surprise of my draft, which you guys will be amazed by. The Vikings get at 11 Drake May.
I got him getting McCarthy at 11.
So we just switched Drake May and McCarthy.
Yes, pretty much.
But Wes has the Vikings trading up, right?
Yeah.
So I got Arizona at 11 now. And
Right.
I got Jared Verse.
Yeah.
Really?
Kyler's gonna hate US.
But he's solid, dude. He's
He
good.
is.
He's real good. I think he's way underrated.
They need some nastiness at Arizona because
Yeah.
they just don't really matter.
Yeah, he's a good player. 12 Broncos, Bo Nix.
I got Latu.
I got a Brock Bowers.
Brock Bowers to the
God, that would be horrible.
Yeah.
dude.
You know why? Because Zach Wilson needs a security blanket.
Zach Wilson does, dude.
Zach Wilson
Well, you know,
and he's going to throw more touchdowns
I mean,
than interceptions
look,
this year.
Dude, if you're going with Zach Wilson as your quarterback, you might as well draft Brock Bowers, right?
I don't know what to do. Oh, just throws this Brock Bowers guy. He's
right.
good.
You just close your eyes and throw it up, right? That's actually not horrible if you're going to run with Zach Wilson. That's not horrible. So here we go. 13 Raiders.
I have Fuaga.
I mean, you already know I got Penix.
Yeah,
wait, but the Raiders traded up with Wes to 2.
I got Washington.
So who's Washington running at quarterback?
Doesn't matter. They don't need a quarterback. They'll get somebody from the USFL or the UFL.
They got somebody, right? Because they got rid of Howe.
Like I said, they
get Brissett. They got Brissett, right?
Yeah, they know they're going to be good next year. Yeah,
they got someone else too.
Drew Lock.
Yeah, I think it was Drew. Yeah, Drew Lock, right?
The man that could throw it over a mountain.
Because they brought in 2 new guys.
Mariota.
Oh, Mariota. There we go. He started.
Yeah, he's awesome.
I don't know. Maybe it was Brissett. I thought Brissett went to the back to the Patriots though.
I swear they got someone.
No, they have they do have Brissett. Okay,
yeah.
So I was wrong.
Yeah, they got Brissett.
Where did Drew Lock go?
No, Drew Lock went to did he go to the Giants?
Oh yeah, he's the Giants.
Yeah, Drew Lock went to the Giants.
Oh.
But I thought the Commanders got someone else besides Brissett.
They got Mariota.
Well, he's trash.
No, I don't think. No. Brissett is on the Patriots now.
Now we have to just let the fans know who the Commanders got. Who did the Commanders get? Come on, Wes. Who did the Commanders get? They just have Mariota. That's it.
No,
Dude,
that's good.
they can't trade back, dude. No way. You can't trade back and roll with Mariota.
No, they're going to get Shador Sanders next year.
You just
Going
went out
all
and
in
got
for
Austin
Shador.
Eckler. No.
Dude, it's
Mm,
Kingsbury. He's an offensive genius. It doesn't matter. Mariota can
no.
be.
No. No.
Come on, it can happen.
Where are we? Okay, we're at Saints 14.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Mariota, Jeff Driscoll, and Jake Fromm right now.
Yeah, no, they're
There's
they
That's
got
awesome.
they're drafting somebody. I got Latu at the Saints at 14, which is a great pick.
Yeah, I got Verse.
Yeah, which is just as good.
I got Fatano off his tackle.
And then 16 or 15, the Colts. I'm the opposite. I have Verse.
I got Thomas.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, they need receivers.
Yeah. Well, that's where you're saying you went early on Thomas, huh?
Yeah,
Yeah.
What do you got at 15, Wes?
I got Arnold for the Colts. The Colts, yeah. Arnold.
Yeah, he's good. 16, Seahawks. I got Fuaga from Oregon State.
I got Arnold. So in your draft, Steve, we're at pick 16 and a corner hasn't been taken. Isn't that crazy?
I got my next corner coming next draft, next pick. Wes, what do you got for going to Seahawks?
We have a trade.
Trade.
Doon, 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 doon.
I have I have the Bills moving up to get Brian Thomas Jr.
Wow, that's a good pick.
They better do it. They're gonna suck if they don't.
You move up from 28, huh?
Might as well. Yep.
That's not bad. 17, here's where I have Arnold going to the Jags.
And I got Mitchell.
So it's still a corner, it's just you had Arnold going earlier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jaguars.
Jags. Who
Johnny
you got?
Newton. Johnny
Johnny
Newton.
Newton.
Johnny. Oh, really? I didn't even
It's a
have him in the first
Jaguar.
round.
It's a Jaguar.
18 Bengals. I got Kool-Aid here.
JC Latham.
Wes is going to 18 Bengals.
Oh, wait a minute. No, I got Kool-Aid.
19 the Rams. I got Fatanu at Washington.
We got Newton replacing Aaron Donald.
It's actually not terrible, actually.
I
Wes
did.
has got a trade.
We got a trade. This is the trade of all trades. This is probably the dumbest trade ever because it's the Cowboys. The Cowboys are going to trade up and get Jared Verse.
I mean, if he's available at 19, that's not a horrible trade.
That
No,
would
but
actually, I mean, Verse and Parsons together.
Right, dude. If Verse is at 19, you trade up for him.
yeah. But it's funny what the Rams do.
Well, because 20 at the Steelers, they're getting Latham, is what I got.
I got Mims going there.
I got Mims too.
And then 21, the Dolphins, this is where I got Queon Mitchell going.
I have a Fontenot going there.
I got Latham.
And then 22, this is where I got Mims going because all Philadelphia drafts are Georgia guys.
That's got Wiggins.
I got Cooper DeJean.
Ooh.
Yeah, I don't even think I have him in the first round.
You said you did.
I thought I did, but I lied.
No.
23 still available for the Vikings, Chop Robinson.
I got Byron Murphy.
I got Byron Murphy too.
Gotta have defensive line there. Dallas at 24, the steal of the draft, Brian Thompson Jr.
Jackson Powers. And then Wes, it's the Seahawks, right? Or
Chop
no,
Rob,
the Rams.
Chop Robinson.
Chop Robinson. That's available. 25 Packers, Jackson Powers.
This is the perfect Packers pick, Cooper DeJean.
Yeah.
Oh,
I hate that a player I like will go to the Packers.
Jackson Powers.
Yeah. And then here's another steal, Tampa Bay at 26. I got Byron Murphy.
I got Chop.
I got Adonai Mitchell. I got Adonai.
Ooh.
And then here's the crazy part. At 27, the Cardinals go again wide receiver with Keon Coleman. So now they bring in Marvin Harrison Jr. and Keon Coleman.
At first, I had Mitchell here. So I was going to go both receivers, but then I switched and put Kool-Aid here.
I mean, that's a great pick. You can get Kool-Aid at 27.
Yeah.
Wes, 27, Cardinals.
Nate Wiggins.
That's a good pick. Uh, Bills, 28. I got Xavier Worthy here.
I got Mitchell here.
Right.
And
Similar.
because I have Seattle, right? Because of the trade.
Right.
I got Michael Penix Jr.
Ooh.
Oh, yeah.
See, Derek, you just lost Penix.
But in this, we got
Seahawks.
Jaden Daniels, though, so I don't care.
Well, in Wes's, yeah, I guess in Wes's trades.
And if the Raiders couldn't trade up for Daniels like that, they would have traded ahead into moved into
Right.
the first round and gotten Penix.
So here's 29 at the Lions, where I got Cooper DeJean.
I got Demarius Robinson here.
Quentin Mitchell.
Yeah, it's good. 30 Baltimore has to get a linebacker. I still got Edgerton Cooper here.
I got Guyton here, Tyler Guyton.
I got Guyton too.
31 San Francisco, Nate Wiggins.
I can't pronounce his last name, but his first name is Kingsley. BYU tackle.
Right.
I got Jordan Morgan.
Really?
Yeah.
That's an interesting pick. 32. Look, here's the steal of the draft, which you guys aren't going to like. Kansas City getting Adonai Mitchell.
I have Morgan here.
Keon Coleman, because they got to you don't never know what's going to happen to Bryce.
Oh, another steal.
Keon Coleman. Yeah. Mahomes
Kansas City just
Coleman.
gets better at wide receiver.
Here,
Well, you
okay.
remember they do have Hollywood now.
Right. Yeah, but I mean, dude, he's
You need
not.
a
He's not the future.
He's not that old.
He's too old. Too
You
old.
know, he. I mean, he's a good role player for them. He's probably only 28.
He's 26.
Yeah, he's still young. So that's a good first round. So my biggest, I'll tell you guys, my biggest one was I think JJ McCarthy goes early to the Patriots. That's one of my big ones. I also think the Chargers go Joe Alt, which I don't think people will realize until they pick them. And then I think the Jets getting Roman Duze is huge too.
Well, for me, I got Penix and Nix not going in the first round.
But yeah, that's crazy,
Because remember when everyone thought Levis was a top 10 pick?
right? And he just slipped.
Remember when Aaron Rodgers could have gone number one and then went like 24?
Right.
Quarterbacks fall because it's line season right now. We don't know for sure.
But there's so many teams that eat quarterbacks.
Yeah.
That's a tough one.
I could also see the Raiders taking best player available at 13, trading back and getting Penix
Right.
back in.
But as Wes pointed out, with his trade backs, you better get him in the first round
Well,
because
no, I was
Seattle's
thinking
going to make
of,
that move
well, for me, I would say trading with the Bengals.
back to 18.
Yeah.
But I got the Bengals getting Kool-Aid at 18. Why would they want to trade that?
Well, if they get a first, a second, and a third,
Right.
I was just thinking to get ahead of the Rams because that's the one. It's like you just don't know what the Rams are going to do. Even though this will be Sean McVay's first round pick.
Well, yeah, and they got to have a future quarterback.
Spencer Bennett, right?
I mean, that really is the last. Yeah, the Rams at 19 are the last pick. After that, quarterback doesn't matter.
Yeah. So like if for me, if Knicks and Penix are available by the time the Rams pick, then the Raiders could probably trade to later in the first round and then go with which either one is still around.
Well, if they're around, like you can get them in the second round anytime, really.
Right. Or trade up to what Carolina's pick, the first pick of the second round.
Yeah. Yeah, the whole second round is available. If Bo Nix and Penix don't go in the first round, you can get them anytime in the second round.
Yeah.
So that's pretty crazy.
And the Mavericks won game two.
Dude, Luca went off. It was awesome. Luca's like John and stuff is like hitting threes on people. It was pretty cool.
Yeah, Luca's ridiculous.
It's like, how are you that out of shape, but that skilled?
It's crazy. I saw the somebody posted this and who knows how accurate you're gonna put this, but when you think about like the five best white players in the NBA all time, they had Jokic, they had Luca, So I get it, they're European, but they still qualify as the white players. And they had
Bird.
Bird. Bird was the only like non-European dude.
Oh, really? So they went Dirk.
Dirk, yeah, Dirk at power forward. And who'd they have a shooting guard?
Peja.
Muse Drazen.
Petrovic, yeah. If he would have not died, he probably would have been.
But so Bird was the only like, Indiana dude. I thought that was interesting because when I looked at the list, I was like, yeah, that's pretty accurate.
What about
Well, I
Pistol
don't know.
Pete, man? Pistol Pete.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Pistol Pete at shooting guard.
Which is great. You're like, oh, Jerry West, dude, he's got the logo, but you're like, well, I'd probably like Luca.
It's got the logo 3.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, it was pretty funny because it was all four were foreigners and Bird was the only, you know, um, actual local.
Bird would be upset. Like, why are you putting me with this white team? You know I'm good.
Yeah, it's pretty funny actually.
The all white team. This sounds bad. The all white team.
Well, that's where we're at now, Wes. So,
all right. I think we've getting there.
all right. Well, we'll see how our picks play out. Derek, send me over that list and I'll post it. But 2 days NFL draft. Let's go, right?
The Raiders don't end up with a quarterback. I will be freaking out.
Derek will try out. They'll open tryouts. Steve, we'll get Steve out there. Steve could probably sling it still.
My
No,
hope.
I probably got 30 yards at my best right now.
Yeah, if the Raiders don't get a quarterback, their best they can do is like the 7 or 6 seed.
Yeah. Yeah, they're gonna be right there in the middle. So that's gonna be tough. So
It's
all
Wes's
right.
bedtime now, so we better get going.
Yeah, we'll wrap it up here. Thanks for listening. Don't forget to subscribe and like. We'll cut out I'll try to cut out some of these picks. But just gonna say before we go, let's go Bears. Two
Better
top
not.
10 picks.
The number 1 pick, the Bears take JJ McCarthy.
Dude. I would literally go jump off a cliff.
You'll be doing one of those videos where you punch in the TV.
I'll be a Dallas fan is what I'll be.
Oh gosh, that's bad.
Because that's what Dallas fans do is they break their TVs.
They burn their jerseys and burn down.
All right. Well, thanks for listening. If you listen on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, don't forget to subscribe and like. Appreciate the comments. We'll see you next time.